How to turn shit into sugar. From breakdown to breakthrough. The opportunist advantage. First, some food for thought. Opportunities don't happen. You create them. Chris Grosser. The trigger. There's a moment most people never talk about. The one right after everything falls apart. The trade goes wrong. The plan collapses. The thing you were counting on doesn't come through. Most people sit in that moment and call it failure. However, there is a mindset that flips this completely. One of the most transformational perspectives on power and success I've ever come across. This is the opportunist mindset. There's an entire chapter on this in the 50th Law by Cent Robert Greene. The idea that the same moment that destroys most people is the exact moment that builds the fearless ones. Not because their circumstances were different, but because their perspective was. Rather than victims of circumstance, true opportunists become the architects of their own power through a radical shift in perspective. What if that moment isn't the end of something? What if it's actually the beginning? The truth is, how to turn shit into sugar. The power of optimism lies not in the circumstance of a situation, but how you perceive and respond to them. The same problem that destroys one person becomes the foundation for another's greatest triumph. This is the ultimate alchemy, transforming life's inevitable shit into sweet opportunities for growth and power. Instead of becoming discouraged and depressed by a downturn, Greene teaches us to see it as a wake-up call, a challenge that would transform into an opportunity for power. This perspective completely reframes failures, setbacks, and adversity from burdens to be endured into raw material for success. The fearless mindset on adversity. Here's where most people get backwards. They wait for the smooth conditions before they move. They want the market to be perfect. They want the timing to be right. They want the stars to align perfectly. They wait for a sign from God to act. But the fearless don't operate that way. The fearless actually needs adversity. It's the proving ground. It's where you show yourself who you really are. Without resistance, there's nothing to push against. And without something to push against, you never discover what you're actually made of. Without obstacles, there's no opportunity to demonstrate strength, resourcefulness, innovation, grit, or growth. This is why many successful people trace their greatest achievements back to their most challenging moments in life. Growth requires you to be fearless and seek out challenges. You must adopt an attitude that's the opposite of how most people think and operate. It normally happens one of two ways. When things are going well, that's precisely when you must be the most concerned and vigilant. You know that good things do not last forever, and you refuse to be caught unprepared. Success can breed complacency, which is why many people peak early and then steadily decline. Don't let it happen to you. Be mindful and vigilant of where you are and know that more work is required to get to the next level. When things are going badly, that's when you lean in the hardest, just a little more. You become most encouraged and fearless. This is your moment. We can feel, we can sense, we can sniff a breakthrough coming. And we know that this is the arena in which we continue to grow. We know that this is required to become who we are destined to be. Resist the drift and discover capabilities you didn't know you possessed. Build the callus needed to withstand the current circumstance, as it is only in preparation for the next moment. You will need to push and and triumph. Prove to yourself that you are built for the journey. I'll go sit the fuck down with the rest of the lames and the woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know the rest. Most people do the opposite. That's exactly why people stay exactly where they are. This paradoxical approach keeps you constantly alert and prepared for change, regardless of your current circumstance, good or bad. The art of opportunistic transformation. The difference between the quitter who breaks down and the opportunist who breaks through is never the circumstance. It's always the lens. Remember, life is a pendulum, going from good to bad. And there isn't a true difference in the size of the poles. They're all the same frequency, but a different measure of the vibration. So be mindful of where you are and how you see things. That's the difference that you need to be very intentional about. Most people retreat when facing obstacles. Opportunists lean forward, knowing their next victory is hidden within the challenge. Each challenge becomes a puzzle to solve. Each setback is a setup for a comeback. Operate with a heightened awareness daily, aggressively hunting down possibilities for expansion. Some people run from these moments and see them as obstacles. But you vibrate at such high frequency and understanding and knowing that this isn't an obstacle. This is a necessary challenge for you to go through. This isn't about waiting for opportunities to appear, but about actively creating opportunities from whatever material life provides. It is how you look at it that matters. It is the ultimate alchemy to transform all negatives into advantages and power. 50 Cent and Robert Greene. The daily practice of optimism, opportunism. This mindset is a mental skill that you must craft into an art. These aren't just ideas. This is a daily practice. Greene outlines 4 principles of the opportunist. 1. Make the most of what you have. Stop waiting for better circumstances. The opportunist works with what is in front of them right now. However limited, however imperfect, constraints don't build creativity. Constraints don't block creativity. They force it. They force you to be innovative, to figure it out, to figure it the fuck out. The goal is the same. Our means and tools just defines how we get there. Some of the most powerful moves ever made came from people who had the least to work with. Number 2, turn all obstacles into openings. An opportunist in life sees all hindrances as instruments of power. Every no contains information about how to get to yes. Every failure teaches lessons that success never could. We gain from on-the-job training, if you will. Learning from experience. Every closed door shows you where to look for open windows. Number 3, look for turning points. History is filled with moments when everything changed. When defeat became victory. When outsiders became insiders. When the impossible became inevitable. Opportunists develop an eye for spotting these inflection points before others recognize them. Feel when things are about to turn up. Don't forget that this is the turning point or the inflection point when things go from bad to good. But you must see it before it hit. Continue to push forward and see the outcome. Train yourself to see the turn before it happens. This is the moment you increase force to gain more momentum, closing the gap. Number 4, move before you're ready. This might be the most crucial principle, ladies and gentlemen. It's a law of power that your energy will rise to the appropriate level when you commit to moving. You only get it through experience. Living it, wearing it, seeing it, doing it. That is what prepares you and gives you the readiness to continue to act and move forward. Every day, just say yes first. Yes to who you are. Yes to who you need to become. Yes to the movement. Yes to the purpose. And yes to achieving your goal, no matter the obstacles that present themselves. It is only part of the journey. Figure it out through action. Waiting until you feel ready often means waiting forever. It's just fear wearing a productive mask. The opportunist acts when they see the chance, trusting that they'll grow into the role through action itself. I've lived this personally. Some of my greatest successes came from saying yes to opportunities that terrified me, then figuring out how to deliver through the process. Trades that didn't go as planned, plans that collapsed completely. Each one forced me to adapt, to get creative, to find the angle nobody else was looking for, and that created my niche and my edge. The world has a way of humbling you into your best thinking if you let it. The same fire that melts butter forges steel. Most people see obstacles as things to avoid or endure. Your response to adversity determines whether you emerge weakened or strengthened. The fearless don't survive challenges. They transform them into stepping stones to the next level. The charge. This shift in perspective is more than just positive thinking. It's a strategic approach to life that recognizes that timing, preparation, and action creates luck. This made me think of this quote from Gary Vee that I once heard. And he says, the harder I work, the luckier I get. It's crazy that the more work you put in, the more opportunities find you. The more you move forward, the more you can see that you're moving closer and closer to your goal. Things just start to happen. People start to find you. Doors start to open. But it's because you're constantly moving forward and taking action on these 4 principles that I just outlined. You don't wait for opportunities. You create them through your response to whatever situation you find yourself in. The opportunist mindset requires constant vigilance and the willingness to act despite uncertainty. It means staying alert when others become complacent, becoming energized when others become discouraged, and moving forward when others hold back. Here are the ways you own your opportunistic powers. First, daily opportunity scanning. Each morning ask yourself, what challenge in my life could become my greatest advantage if I approached it differently? Number 2, reverse assumption practice. When facing a setback, immediately ask, how could this be exactly what I needed? Often, what seems like bad timing is perfect timing in disguise. Getting ready for whatever is coming next. Sharpening your tools, sharpening your mind, and dialing in your focus. Remember, it's the lens and the perspective. Number 3, action before readiness. Identify one opportunity you've been avoiding because you don't feel ready. Set a date to take action anyway, and trust in your ability to rise to the occasion. Remember, the same situation that breaks most people is building you. That's not just perspective, that's power. Stay focused on your faith.